Okay, so looking at the next page of your notes, we see this diagram, and there are a couple of questions they want us to answer about this diagram. So the next minute's going to be answering these questions right here. So our first question is to identify two obtuse vertical angles. So we know that they're going to be greater than 90 degrees. So it can't be this one, can't be this one, can't be this one, because we can all see that those are all less than 90 degrees. Excuse me. So we also want to find vertical angles have to be at an intersection, if we remember. So where two lines intersect. So we're going to be looking for where two lines intersect here. Lost my place. There we go. Okay. So here's where two lines intersect. Now we know it can't be, this is a little hard to see. We know it can't be this one and this one because those are just slightly less than 90 degrees. But this one and this one, those are vertical angles, and they are definitely greater than 90 degrees. So the answer to this one, identifying two obtuse vertical angles, would be TNR and SNU. TNR and SNU. Second, we want to identify two acute adjacent angles. So remember, that means they are going to share a vertex and a side. And there's not a lot of angles here that share both a vertex and a side. There's these two. There's these two. There's these down here, but they're not named very, like they don't have any points labeled or anything, so we can't really name these very well. So these two right here, they might, those would be acute vertical angles, but I don't think we're gonna do these two. So your possible correct answers are RNV and VNT, or UNT and TNV. Those would both be acute adjacent angles. Acute adjacent angles, so sharing a vertex and a side. So RNV and VNT share the vertex N and the side NV, and UNT and VNT share the vertex N and they share side NT. And the last one, we want to find an angle that's supplementary to TNU. Now, since there's no measurements on here, we're going to have to go with our definition for a linear pair. We know that if they add together to make a line, then they are supplementary. So we want to look at TNU here and figure out which angle makes a line with this one. The correct answer is going to be SNU. SNU and UNT are both part of, they use SN and NT, and SN and S and N and T are all collinear. They all make up line ST. So we know that SNU and TNU are going to be supplementary. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a special intersection. What types of intersecting lines are these? These are perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at 90-degree angles. And we know that these lines, all of these four angles that are created, are 90 degrees because of this guy. When we see that little square, we know that that's a 90-degree angle. Now, if it adds together, if this angle is supplementary with this angle because they make a line together, then this one also has to be 90 because 90 plus 90 equals 180. And same going this way. This one and this one. This one has to be 90 degrees because this angle is supplementary with this one because they make line AC. And it's vertical with this angle over here, so we know that one also has to be 90 degrees. Perpendicular lines create four 90-degree angles, 4 right angles. All right, so we want to look at this one. We want to identify the perpendicular lines. Now we're naming lines, so the correct notation here is going to be 2 letters. 2 letters. Okay? We name lines with 2 points. 2 points. So there should be 2 letters in your line names. All right? So we see this line right here. We see this box right here. So we know that AE is perpendicular to FC. We also see this little box at an angle right here, which tells us that GB is perpendicular to GD. So those are our 2 sets of perpendicular lines here, AE and FC, and GB and GD. And then looking down at the bottom of this page, we want to find X and Y so that NR is perpendicular to MQ. So the first thing we're going to want to do here is we want to solve for Y. So we know that this angle right here, MSR, we know that it's going to be 90 degrees. So we can set up this expression, 9y plus 18 equal to 90 degrees. So what would Y be? Here are your possible answer choices. Pause if you need to. And the correct answer here is going to be 8. When we subtract 18 from both sides and then divide both sides by 9, we're going to get 8. So how do we solve for X? Well, we know that even though these are 2 separate angles right here, we know that added together they're going to make NSQ. And we know that NSQ is 90 degrees. It's got right angle. These 2 angles together make up this right angle. So we can set 5x plus x equal to 90. And so find x. Here are your possible answer choices. Pause if you need a little bit more time. And the correct answer is going to be 15. 5x plus x is actually 6x, and 90 divided by 6 is going to give us 15. Okay, and last question of the day. MSR and NSQ have what relationship? Are they adjacent, complementary, supplementary, or a linear pair? And the correct answer is going to be supplementary. They are not adjacent. They share a vertex but not a side. They are not complementary because they are both 90 degrees. Complementary means that they add together to make 90 degrees. So they can't be that. They're not a linear pair because, again, they're not adjacent. You have to be adjacent to make a linear pair. But they are supplementary. Since they are both 90 degrees, they would add together to make 180 degrees. So your homework for today is going to be this page right here and this page right here. So naming angles here, and then 4 algebra problems here, and true or false here. Explain your answer for full credit. And then algebra, and word problems. Okay, make sure to email me if you have any questions, and see you later.